What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hbtv, the show, with your host, Harry Bugarin. I got another great guest tonight. Can't wait to get him on, Tyrone Ward. He's a creative entrepreneur, and he does a lot of things. You'll see him in a couple minutes. So really quick, if this is your first time, I do thank you for taking the time to being here with us. Do me a favor if you haven't already, you just like, subscribe, share, and hit that little bell. Because every time HBTV is on, you'll get that alert, whether we're going on live or if there's some new content that's on the channel as well. And again, HBTV, what do we do here? We inspire, we influence, we educate, we empower, and I bring on guests not only in our local community, but again, I just reach out to everybody across the nation, across the borders, globally. You know what I mean? So whoever has that positive message, whoever wants to share their passion, I want to highlight them. I want to get them on the show and talk about what positive things they're doing out right now in the world. So without further ado, I'd like to get to my next guest here tonight on the show again, Tyrone Ward. So help me welcome him. Here we go. Mr. Tyrone Ward, how are you doing tonight?
Yes. What up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's been such a beautiful day today. You know what? I wish I was sitting right there at Native Soul with you, just hanging out, taking in the sun rays outside. Maybe in the back patio or in your room. But it's good to see you. Good to finally put the face to the name, to the voice, and to the texting. And it's great blessing. For you to be spending some time with us here on HBTV, the show. So really quick, man, do me a huge favor. Just take about 20, 30 seconds. Do me a favor and tell the audience, who Tyrone Ward is and what do you do?
Okay. Welcome. Blessings. Thank you for joining. Whoever's listening, sending out nothing but love and good vibes to you. Thank you, Harry, for having me on. My name is Tyrone Ward. I am many things, entrepreneur, I'm a dad, a father of 5 children, a partner of the Queen and my wife, May. And, it's hard to say what I really am, because I don't see myself in that way. I just feel like I am a vessel and just moving energy around, and I'm a being here just experiencing life, like we all are. But I have my hands in many things because I love bringing people together, and I see myself as someone who's kind of bridging a lot of different things and passion and art. So, but my main thing right now is I'm also a co-owner of Native Soul, and we launched a new brand, a new store called Earthing. I'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah, that's it. I'm just thankful to be here.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. And thank you for breaking that down a little bit. And so, we got a couple people joining. We got one Mystic, DJ Mystic of Sound Reaction DJs over here, Brandon Wharton. He's here. He says what's up. He says Mystics in the building.
What's up? Yeah.
He says what's up. But for those obviously who do know you, who's gonna watch this episode, moving on in the future after we get done, they know who Tyrone Ward is. They know what you're all about. But for those of you who don't know who Ty Ward is and never seen and never heard of him, some of you may be familiar with some of his work earlier in his career and that he was involved in. And this was what I'm talking about is music, is hip hop, is rap, back in the early 90s, especially in the groundbreaking, that single that came out from Brotherhood Creed. He used to be with Brotherhood Creed, or still is, and being a part of that group with that hit Hell of a. So yes. just giving you some shouts and props to that, and hell of a song, obviously, hell of a hit. it was on my heavy rotation as I used to spin and DJ myself, and you coming out, just a couple miles away from here. We're based out of Carson, and obviously you guys are right there in Cerritos. And some of the dopest dancers, some of the dopest crews, some of the dopest DJs, you know what I mean, that I grew up just listening to on mixtapes, because you got to understand, back then we didn't have all the YouTube stuff. It was all about word of mouth. It was all dipping into the record stores, and just really a quick shout out to one of the guys that I looked up to a lot of those dudes, but DJ Curse, he was out there, he was out here our way at one of the record stores, and he would always give us some knowledge and tidbits about that. But just going back to that experience, and that's the reason why I bring that up. That is part of your journey. That is part of where you are now. Just a little bit about that. Like take us back about during that time. Ty Ward, you were in Brotherhood Creed. What was going on? What were the years, and what was going on for you during that time, man?
Yeah, for sure. Those that know me back in those days, this is like high school days, right? Coming out of, senior year, 1988. For all these, I'm dating myself. I'm taking. It's all good though,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things. Like looking back on it, I really appreciate those times. But for those who knew me and those who didn't, I was really a shy kid. Hence the name. They used to call me Shy Ty in the group Brotherhood Creed. So I was really quiet, reserved. I had a lot of friends. I was also like social, so it was an interesting mix. I was real social, but at the same time, I was really like one of those cats that you see like back in the cut, kind of always just chilling with a smile on my face, laughing and in the mix, but just real like taking it in from an observer standpoint. I just consider myself like one of those people. Like I would always watch, try to learn as much as I can from the sidelines. But the way the Brotherhood Creed came about was actually my boy Redmatic and I. For those who know Redmatic from the Beat Junkies, back then I saw this cat at school was into hip hop culture, but very distinctly at the time like East Coast hip hop culture. Like he had like a bombed out cap on, like a painter's cap. For those that know who are writers, they have painter's cap. You bomb them out. You might have a jacket on, like a denim jacket, all bombed out. He was dope he was nice with the character. So I was like, man, who is this guy? And for me, growing up in the West Coast, it was funny because my cousin, Albert Ward, he got me into more East Coast hip hop, believe it or not. Like we were into breakdancing and popping, but it was definitely like a hip hop East Coast influence. I didn't really realize it at the time. I just knew it as hip hop. So when I was at school, I realized like, man, there's no one really rocking the styles that I rock. I rock like gazelles. I didn't have the original ones. I had the gazelles. And I went down to Market Street in Inglewood. Those that know. But I had all, you'd have the gear, but there wasn't too many cats at my school that was repping like that. So aside from Rhett and a few others, and that's how we linked. We're like, yo, what's up? We recognized each other. We instantly became friends. We had a photography class. We were like rolling strong from that point on. And then I knew my boy Sean from a whole different like set of friends, and we call it the Wall in Cerritos. It was really this area. There's a restaurant called the Hilton where if you had a class, you cook up in there. But in front of that, it's called the Wall, and it'd be like where all the brothers, all the black, like, most of the black students would hang out. That was like the spot. And all the stuff would happen, like all the dope freestyle sessions, So my boys were like, man, you got to come over here and hang with us on the Wall because we're about to bust this cypher. Man, it's going down over here. And one of the dudes that stood out to me was Sean. And he was a dope lyricist. He was always cool with me. So my boy Rhett reached out one day and he's like, yo, Ty, I know you're into music, because we would build on music. And at the time I was always into writing like R&B. It was weird. I was just like, I was into singing and like ballads and stuff, but I loved hip hop. So it was a weird combo at the time. And he's like, man, I know you're always writing. He goes, why don't you rhyme on this track I got? Somebody asked me to scratch on, looking for a rapper. And I'm like, man, I don't really get down like that. Like I'm more of a songwriter. But my boy Sean, he's nice. So I go, let me connect you. And we all got together. And from that track, they built, and it was a dope track that they actually made. And then from there, the synergy started building. And they were like, let's meet up again. And I was like, man, you don't need me anymore. You guys are good, you know? But every time they always wanted to include me in it. They were like, nah, you brought us together. It's only right. You got to come kick it with us. Let's just build together. And that's really the infant stages of it. We didn't have a name yet, nothing. But it's just from that point, we just started like throwing out, you know, you just sit chilling in the garage. It was Rhett's garage.
Sure.
Chill, a beat. And we're like, oh, this beat is dope. And then Rhett and I started realizing that he and I had something in common where we were really into production. So we liked to like dissect the music. You know, we were all into like, this would be dope. What if we put this keyboard here? So we started building on that level. And Sean was just like, yo, just make some dope tracks and I'll lace them. I'll drop my rhyme on it. Like, I'm good. So that's really how it started. And Sean was really adamant about like, yo, we're gonna blow up. Let's do it. You know, let's go all out. And we're just kind of like, Rhett and I were just like, hey, let's go. Like, we love the music, but we weren't really into blowing up. We're just like, hey, we're just happy to make music.
Yeah.
But Sean always had that vision of like, I want to like take it to the next level. So that is what started the whole, you know, what we call Brotherhood Creed. That was the infant stages of it.
And big shout out to DJ Rhett and Sean. Never had an opportunity to actually meet both of those guys, but hopefully one day. But really quick, man, like going back, like, you know, we're not too far apart from as far as city wise and growing up. You know, Carson, you got your family here. You know, shout out to B Ward, B Wizzle 34, Brian Ward, 218 Block for hooking us up together and linking us up. But like, you know, Carson, you know, it's the melting pot. A lot of people, a lot of nationalities, ethnicities, a lot of culture. Tell us a little bit about like Cerritos from that 88 time, moving on, you know, throughout the years, about 92.
Yeah, so Cerritos, you know what? A lot of people, I don't know if they really realize it, but I felt very fortunate because Cerritos was one of the only places at the time that I knew, you know, that was super diverse. I mean, I always grew up and I had like around the corner from me, like one of my best friends was Chinese, another, you know, friend was white, another friend 2 blocks over was black, Mexican, like anything, any ethnicity you can think of, Indian. So I feel like there was no, you know, when you're younger, you don't really think about it in that way. You know, you're just like, oh, that's my friend. Yep. You know, I know these people. Yep. And it's not until you're older that you start, it naturally somehow starts separating, like you start identifying yourself a little different. But Cerritos, I feel, is one of the places where truly, I feel like it was really a melting pot where folks like really were bonding, even though we knew our identities as we grew, you know, older. But it was really like this vibe of really like unity and I don't know how to describe it, but anyone you talk to during that time, I feel like they felt the same. Like I still talk to people about it now. And it's not even the same as Cerritos now. I mean, it's a little bit like the demographic changed a little bit. I feel like the school system got like a higher rep. And certain people just moved in, the property, you know, things changed like anywhere. But at that time, it was that, and it was like, you know, like 80s, 90s, there was so much. I feel like it was an interesting time too, because of music. Like I remember listening to everything. I mean, I remember listening to like 80s rock. Like my friend on the corner would always school me with the new rock stuff. I was listening to like the early hip hop stuff or electro, and like, you know, it was just a time when I feel like culturally things were like shifting, but it was like a blending, a weird blend, you know. So it was, to me, it was a nice time, you know. It was very unique to once I learned, like traveling around, it was a unique place, and I didn't really realize it. Like I said, I was just in it, you know, like you, I'm sure. Like Carson wasn't too far off, so I feel like you kind of had the similar thing going on. Yeah. There wasn't, but we remember Cerritos is on the cutoff of OC. So we're the last city before Orange County. And as soon as you cross Orange County, it starts changing. Like, it definitely is not as diverse. I mean, it's kind of like a slow taper, but it's not too far. Like, you go 10 miles and it just demographic, everything changes. Like, whoa, where am I? You know? So I feel like, yes, it was really different, you know, but cool.
That's dope, man. So really quick, going back to music, man. I'm gonna fire off a couple years from you, right? Starting from '88, just top of your head. Don't even think about it, man. Don't even think about it. From '88, I'm gonna say '88. You're gonna give me like the dopest hip hop artist of that time or that group. Okay, here we go. Just off the top of your head, don't even think about it. Okay. 1988, Ty. Go ahead. 1988.
I think a Big Daddy Kane, LL Cool J.
Yes.
Oh man. Oh shoot, it's hard, man.
Oh no, I dig it. 1989. Who you got?
Oh shoot, 89. I'm thinking kind of like, it's crazy because like I said, I'm thinking. I remember like all the stuff from like, you know, Egyptian Lover and all the West Coast stuff was coming in. So I remember listening to like, you know, that crew, like Egyptian Lover, some early like, I don't know, Wrecking Crew stuff, but then also I remember listening
Hey, Ty. We can throw in some Stevie B and some Diamond Girl if you like too. You don't even worry about it.
Yeah, that was all it is.
Okay. All right, so you got the Egyptian Lover. Okay, what about 90, man? We're crossing into 1990.
Oh, shoot. 90, I remember, I just remember this feeling of like, I don't know if it's too early, but I remember like Jungle Brothers.
Yes. No, that's it. That's 89, 90 because we got the whole De La. You know, we had all those guys in.
Tongues. Yep, all like Tribe Called Quest, Native Tongues, all that stuff started kicking in.
Yep.
Because I remember distinctively like going to the clubs and just being all about that vibe. You know,
doing our own thing, man. Doing our own thing. Yeah. That was the track right there from Jungle. I'm getting chills about it right now. You know, you just mentioned it. 1991.
Oh snap. Scenario? No.
That was 92. That was 92 actually. That was the next year. Yeah, 91. Okay. Who you got 91?
91. Shoot. 91. You know who it is? Arrested Development. That was like, that stands out. Like boom. Because I remember distinctively like around 90, like end of 91, traveling in Brotherhood Creed, touring around, and I remember them coming on. And also I remember Rakim, like of course, like dating back, but I remember like Juice was out. Yeah. Like all those cuts, like I just remember like distinctively like, man, just bumping, you know, traveling, bumping, like all that stuff, you know.
So 92. Now we coming into 92. This is when you guys drop, but 92. Who you got on 92?
Yeah, I mean definitely like, you know, Scenario was like a big hit, but I also remember like, I mean, I'm thinking of Grand Poobah.
But they were a little bit earlier, so it would be like Farside-ish would be coming in and all those guys.
Yeah, that's true. Farside, because 92 is interesting because 92 was a year when we were kind of touring, but we were also transitioning. Because I think 91 is when we came out and we started touring a little bit.
Yeah.
92. And then we were traveling, but I remember who we were traveling with. I mean, we would see Nice and Smooth a lot.
Nice.
Well, not a lot. We see Nice and Smooth. We see like Tribe Called Quest. We see Farside was coming in. We would see, man, so many people. Like Ice-T was still doing stuff. It's crazy. Like Heavy D. Nice. And then we're still out. It's an interesting time when it was like, I feel like 92 was when it was kind of like we were the last. I feel like we were the tail end of like I don't know how to put it, but we're like kind of like the upbeat, smooth hip hop, and it was getting real rugged. It was kind of like this, because I remember distinctively it was already there, but I was fighting this, not fighting it, but I was feeling like the music that we put out at the time was kind of pigeonholed by the label into like, we want you to do all your work to sound like, you know, like Jeff and Will Smith, or, you know, they're trying to pigeonhole us into this sound, but we weren't even that. We had so many different, you know, we had the boom bap hip hop, but Hell of It was just that one song. So it was just an interesting time because I remember being on a lot of shows and feeling that energy of like, man, they don't even know. Like they're just hearing Hell of It and they're just, you know, thinking that, but we had so much more, you know, diversity than that. So yeah, that's what pops in 92. It's a lot.
Well, yeah, it is a lot, and thank you for playing that, that rapid round right there with the years. And that's really
Right.
cool. Again, you guys are watching HBTV, the show with your host Harry Bugarin, and my very special guest tonight is Mr. Tyrone Ward. We have a couple guys in the chat. We got one, Brian Wizzle. That's your cousin. Brian
Word.
Wizzle's in here. He said,
What
"What's
up?
up,
What
cousin?"
up? What up?
And yeah, and we'll get to one of his questions here as we go. But so 92 hits, man, and you guys have that great success with Helliva. And if you guys haven't heard it yet, go ahead and YouTube that. Go ahead and Spotify that. Brotherhood Creed, Helliva. You're gonna hear that dope jam right there. But like that hits off. You guys are going with it. And how much more did you get involved with music, after that release and moving forward with that?
Yeah. Okay. In 92 was interesting, like I said, because a lot of people don't know, they don't realize that behind the scenes of Helliva, like Helliva was taking off, of course, those that know, like we got around and it was cool because I know from Cerritos, there wasn't too many people at the time, like repping Cerritos, repping SoCal like that. And we felt very like proud to rep it. And as we got into the music industry side of it, all the background stuff, unfortunately, we kind of got into some drama with the label and control issues and creativity, issues where they're trying to, like I said, I mentioned, pigeonhole our creativity. And we didn't do it for that. We originally, like I said, we did it for the love of the music and the culture. And just for that to happen, it was pretty traumatic. We ended up kind of dissolving the group per se because the label had us stuck and we couldn't really do anything. We couldn't do anything separately. We couldn't do anything as a group. They had our name, all those stories. So that was our first experience. I mean, we're coming out the gate with that experience already. So we had other offers from labels even. We couldn't even do anything. So it was interesting because it stifled, just to be real, it stifled my creativity because I felt like I was starting to like really get into my own voice and express my creativity through music. And I'm sure my partners feel the same. Rhett ended up, things happened and Rhett went on to do his thing and channel his energy towards his music and his DJing, which is awesome. For myself, I wish I would have had the foresight to maybe do a little bit more of that, but I was so, traumatized from it that I was like, man, I don't really want much to do with the industry if this is what it's going to be, because this isn't why I wanted to do that. It was a creative outlet for me, like I said. So I ended up getting into another love of mine, and that was fashion. So I had already had experience through clothing and fashion. And one of my good friends, Rich One from Almighty NASA Crew, a graffiti crew, was always helping us out in the background. He was one of my boys I rolled with. Like if you saw the bug in the video, him and my man Rec from NASA, and Fish One from NASA, they all bombed it out. And they ended up, kind of later on, I encouraged, along with Rhett to launch a clothing line. Because Rich was dope. He was doing stuff for other people, and those projects he would do would blow up. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, bro, you got to do something for yourself because people are, you obviously have a talent and skill, which is no question. But it was cool because we actually were able to take some of the money we made from Brotherhood Creed and fund to get Rich started. And Rich and Rhett and myself helped launch this line called Rec Shop Clothing. So that was like 91-ish, nice. 92-ish. And from there, like when we were touring, we would just bring shirts with us and pass it out to all the artists or people that we thought were cool and were down with the culture. And it was cool because a lot of bridges were built. Like some of the friends that we still know in East Coast, if you know the Mop Tops from New York, they're amazing, like hip hop and house dancers that were our choreographers. They did some stuff for CC Peniston, a lot of people that were integral at that time. And it was like one of the before Echo Unlimited, before a lot of the companies that started blowing up, it was definitely one of the first brands if you check it later. I mean, if you look back and see it. But from there, that just sparked my, you know what, I'm gonna roll with my homie and do something else that I love to do. So it just was a natural flow for me. And I ended up from there going into clothing full on. And that's kind of where for me it turned that way. But I realized that I always had music in me. So I ended up coming back around to it, but in another capacity. And I ended up putting together events from people that I knew. I was like, hey, I still got, my homies like from Cerritos and Red and other people. I love bringing people together. And I met these people traveling or whatnot. So I just somehow, I just brought it together and ended up doing events and becoming a promoter. So that was my full-time like clothing and then event promoter, hip hop event and then reggae event promoter. So I did that for I really never stopped doing that because I was always doing it from when I was 18. I was involved with something. I know I'm backtracking, but I had a group called, I was a part of a group called United Kingdom, which if those that know from this area, it was a group of mobile DJs and we connected together. And that time I was DJing with Rhett. So he was double platinum and we all formed that together. So during that time, it's crazy how the circles.
Yeah, man. You're bringing up all these names, man. And it's cool. Like I said, I was a little bit younger. And all those names that you talked about is like I said, we didn't have social media, right? So you saw flyers. Remember those big old flyers, like 1,000 names on them. You had Double Platinum UK. You had all those guys, and you had the guys on our side as well. Unique Technique is on there, and and everybody. So yeah, man. Like I said, man, those dudes were my heroes. Growing up, and especially to find out behind the name they're Filipinos. Oh man, I was like, wow, man, that's really cool. One thing I wanted to ask you though, man, like whatever happened to that bug, man? Where's the bug? Who got the bug, and who's rolling the bug now, man?
Funny. Man, I had that bug for the longest, man. I had it parked and stored in my garage. I ended up selling it to a friend, my cousin's friend actually. My cousin's friend restored bugs, and he's like, hey, bro, if you still have it, I want to restore it. And I wasn't doing anything with that thing. He actually restored it. This is like just a little, gem, little trivia. He ended up remodeling it, restoring it back to original, and then getting it on the cover of VW magazine. So it's crazy. Because it was a 1957 ragtop.
Yeah.
So that was already there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in any condition at that time to make it on anything, any show, nothing. But he did an amazing job. But it was dope to see it. I'm like, wow, that's cool because it went on to have another life, So I was happy when I heard that. I was like, cool, blessings.
He still got that bug, and any chance you're gonna get that bug back from him, or
Man, I wish.
That'd been dope, man. Did he?
Yeah, I think he sent it over overseas, even to Japan or something.
Oh yeah, they probably played big bucks, man. I'm not mad at him. Hey, check it out, guys. You guys are watching Hbtv, the show. I'm your host, Harry Bugarin, and my very, very, very special guest tonight, Mr. Tyrone Ward. Ty, you got a couple other cousins up in here. We got Mr. Robert Ward. What's up, Rob? Long time no see.
Yeah,
hope you're doing well out there. So your big cousin out there, Rob Ward, is there, and then we got someone named Zaire Black. I don't know if you know that YouTube name, but he says what's up, man. So that's dope. Just going back, how you were able to pivot after the music, right? So you're doing the clothing line, that was cool. And you're doing the events and the event coordinator. That's dope too. So as far as that, is that what are you doing now? And is that the same road that that you took, right after the music, with all your projects, the stuff that you're doing now?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't have. I didn't really know how it was going to turn or what I was going to do next. I was just going with what I loved, and that's been kind of my formula. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel blessed that my mom and my dad always encouraged me. Just do what you love, but just be consistent with it. Just if you love it, just go for it. And they always showed that support. So that's kind of how I just led my life. And I haven't really some people have different angles, but my angle has never really been financial, and that could be a downfall. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't feel that way because I feel like I feel very blessed because for me, it's always been important. Relationships are always important to me. And what I'm doing, I always feel like it's about the people. And I realized that, from early, like I always enjoyed bringing good people together and bringing like good energy together, and just holding that space. And that's kind of what I followed. So even when I was doing clothing, it's always been about like, okay, like who am I working with? Like, what are their intentions? What's the integrity behind it? And, it was always the other stuff comes later, but it's always first, like, the connection that I have with somebody. And I've been just blessed and fortunate to meet some amazing people and just, had some really cool relationships built on the way. And I feel like from going after that and head on into promotion, like I've learned a lot, just and it always has stayed true to, I feel for the most part, true to that same like feeling of that love of hip hop has always been there, and learning through hip hop, like the connection through of reggae and the roots of and that bridge, and still connecting like the African music and just all the lineage and all the people. And then you start realizing everyone is just connected on certain levels. Like once you dig deep enough, all these separations that we go through as we're learning in our society, like they all just fall away. And that's what I get back to, what I was saying earlier, like just with blessed to be in Cerritos, to have all these friends, blessed to be in SoCal, blessed to be in hip hop, because I feel like that's what hip hop has done, right?
Yeah.
It's busted all these barriers made by, whoever, the establishment. It like shattered all that and just leveled it and brought so many people together. And I feel fortunate to just have stayed on that and grown in that and been a part of that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I realized like that I'm just, none of this would happen. None of these, I mean, we did like 10 years straight of one club, like Tuesday night, all these hip hop groups from all over the country. And, that's a blessing, but I feel like it wasn't me. I was a part of the culture and a part of the community. So I feel that's how I feel with all these things. Like right now, even like moving forward, I feel like I'm just blessed to be a part of this, and I'm hoping to like add to it.
Yeah.
And I just recognize that, and that's what I'm grateful for.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I want to talk to you a little bit more about now. Is just like transitioning to what you're doing now, right? So tell us a little bit more about Native Soul. Tell us a little bit more about Earthing That Earth. Like what's that about? Why did you create that?
Okay.
What's going on with it?
Okay. Pretty much, my queen and I, May, from the club, the transition was I was kind of getting burnt out because I was always out, and it just came where I met this amazing woman, and we got more involved, and as we knew we wanted to start a family, and I feel like that transition grounded me. And May and I were already in sync with a lot of things, and clothing was one of them, music, and and it actually started. One of the main pillars was health, and we both didn't realize when we started dating that we were both vegetarian, just turning vegan at the same time, and it was interesting how that happened. We actually naturally supported each other on that journey. I felt very grateful, and we got into raw veganism like maybe 1 month after turning vegan. So we did that journey for about almost 10 years. But through that learning and through that journey, we started doing pop-ups and, doing food for people. She's an amazing chef, and I was an amazing taste tester. But honestly, we were supporting one another, and we bridged everything. I kept doing music and I got more into DJing and promoting still, but we just bridged that, and we started, hey, let's do a pop-up at this event. And those worlds started merging. And as we started learning that world, that journey, we slowly pivoted into fashion, bringing some of the handmade jewelry she makes and the clothing.
Yeah.
And those worlds together, the connections I knew and she knew. And then from there, we started doing pop-ups at all these music events. That's where the music comes in again. We started doing Lightning in the Bottle, like different reggae shows. We were doing all these music and art events, and people kept asking us, where can we find you when you're not at this event? And that after years of that, we're like, maybe we should open a store. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So
So real quick, Todd, just real quick,
yeah,
just to go back, you said something that was very
yeah,
interesting to me, and I want to learn more about it. But you talked about how you first met your queen. You guys were vegetarian, turning into
yes.
vegan, and then raw vegan. Just really quick, and keep your other thought going as the other one. But really quick, can you break down what vegetarian is versus the vegan versus the raw vegan? You know what I mean? For us that
Yeah,
don't know, for us that
yeah.
don't know.
Vegetarian is basically it's plant based, but you could still you could eat eggs and you could have milk products or dairy products. Vegan is removing any animal, you know, any like any milk, any dairy, any like cheeses, any of that, and any eggs. You don't have any of that, so that's the next level. And no honey. That's a vegan. That would be a vegan diet. And then beyond that, or not to say beyond that, but another path would be raw vegan. So raw vegan is like vegan but no cooking. So anything you prepare, you can heat it to like 108 at the most without damaging enzymes. That's the reason why you don't go beyond 108. Start damaging enzymes of the food, which changes the nutrients and what you intake. And that's pretty much. Those are the main premises of those.
Okay. I just want to know. I mean, I myself, I'm not too, I don't know much about being a vegan or vegetarian and things like that. But just going back to fashion, right? You're into fashion. Your queen's into fashion. Like, as far as stuff that we can see on the Instagram, right, at Native Soul, right? Is that all like what she has done and what you guys have done? You guys get the patterns, you guys sew it together, and like all that stuff that you guys produce, or what's hanging in as far as like inventory, that's all from you guys? That's all from the hands and the work from you guys?
No, not necessarily. Let me break down. Like, the Native Soul is we basically are not fast fashion. So we don't get things manufactured and make patterns and send them off to overseas to get them done at big quantities at a time. It's actually kind of the opposite. It's going back to like one of a kind pieces, handmade, one of a kind. And she does make original pieces, sewing on her machine one at a time. But the next level of it, or our way is more sustainable. We like to promote more sustainability. So if we have a pattern, or not a pattern, but a fabric, we'll actually try to get it from like overstock that somebody already produced, and it's already made. So we're not trying to really necessarily support like a brand new, like, oh, we're just ordering this new fabric from somewhere. So it's, if we can get it overstock, or even we do a lot of thrifting. So we're always like, it's like almost like record digging. We're going around and traveling, and we're looking at all the little shops, and we're finding, wow, this is an amazing print from, it could be like from the 40s, 50s, 60s.
Nice.
And sometimes we don't touch it because it's just a beautiful piece. It's already made really well. And sometimes it's like, oh, we just like the fabric. So not me, but May will cut it up and, upcycle it and deconstruct it and kind of modernize it to her style, her taste.
Nice.
So that's kind of the premise of our handmade goods section. And she makes amazing jewelry with like healing stones and copper, and does a lot of wire wrapping and stuff like that.
Nice.
But then we have the other components that when you see all the different clothing in the shop, a lot of it could be vintage, because we do collect a lot of vintage. So we're really trying to, reuse amazing, goods that are already there. There's nothing wrong with them. And they're actually probably made a lot better than now, because a lot of stuff now, as you probably know, is made like inexpensively. It's not good quality, for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, there are brands out there that are still doing, amazing quality, but for the most part, you don't really see that. It's like they're made to like, oh, stuff is like lasting a couple months, and the machine's a couple washers and it's done, So we're trying to get away from that. We're trying to go back to, or just promote the idea of, let's be more mindful of how we move and what we do with our energy, and with our, our goods and the way we just navigate through life, So that's really the premise of Native Soul, is really trying to, just be mindful about what we're doing, and like, let's be more smart about it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. And again, you guys are watching HBTV, the show, with your host Harry Bugarin, and my special guest tonight is Mr. Tyrone Ward. Just really quick off the top of your head, if you can, just looking around your shop, is there anything that you would be able to show the audience? Anything like anything that off the top of your head, like, hey, this is something my wife made, or this is the dress, or something like that. Just something in arm's reach, but if not, I don't want to take you too long about searching for stuff. So
no, check it out.
Yeah,
check it out. Actually, right now I'm actually in our new shop. Is earthing.
Okay.
So I was going to mention that before. I'm in earthing right now. So this is a glimpse of the newer shop. And in this shop we have a lot of like low waste products. So we have stuff like reusable utensils. We have a kit of reusable utensils that you can travel with.
Nice.
Instead of, going somewhere and eating out and using all the plastic and throwing it away. So we promote things like that here. And also, we have a mixture of things, It's like a lot of these products, this is like, plates we have. And this is reclaimed teak wood. So it's already fallen dead teak wood that artists reuse and make, usable and beautiful art, right? There's a lot of things in here that it's also like, we find it secondhand things that are perfectly good that we use, Like this amazing, artistry box. I think the way it looks like it's from like indigenous, like northwestern, art. So we just find things and that are perfect, like beautiful pieces, and it's like, wow, why are these sitting here?
Yeah.
In this like secondhand shop, or not secondhand, thrift shop, And we try to just curate things that we think that people would like and enjoy, could use,
Oh, those are really cool and beautiful. And just one thing, that first set you picked up, it brought me back to my childhood, man. Because I don't know how many Filipinos friends you had, but I remember if you can remember back in the 70s and 80s, you probably walked into their house and they had that same set but giant size in their living room.
Yeah. We've had like 3 or 4 sets of the giant ones
in
here, and it's funny because who like instantly sees them is like, Filipinos come in and they go, I grew up with those, and they're like, can I get them?
Yeah,
so
I need those. Yeah, I need that set. We got some giants in my family. So really quick, as far as like, some of the information that you sent me, right? You do events. You do events and workshops and things like that. Let's talk a little bit more about those workshops, maybe pre-pandemic, and also what's going on in the future with that moving forward.
Yeah. So out of Native Soul, we are, we've always like been community based. So our original idea was always to have this be a space where we can have gatherings of different types. And we've had a lot of, we've been blessed basically with the spot, people coming through, different facilitators that do, meditation, that do crafting, some that do like Organite. I don't know if you know what Organites are, but different EMF protection, like different pyramids and different, like, so it's such a wide gamut of things. And then we've had just amazing, like, intimate music, like, gatherings where we've had, somebody set up like amazing, like, food vendors that are plant-based, usually healthy food. And we've had somebody come, like, we've been blessed to have like the refugee all-stars come. We've had like people that have traveled, like Zaki Ibrahim, all the way from like Africa. Like but it's been also local, like really amazing local. Like my man Zaire Black, he's like a local MC that has blessed the spot, and we've collaborated with him many times. And
nice.
So there's, I mean, it's we've been grateful just to be able to hold space for different types of things, you know,
Yeah.
but it's always been with the premise of like healthy lifestyle, you know, healthy community, healthy relationships, healing, and just uplifting it, you know, uplifting. So that's really what we've always focused on, you know.
Man, I love it, Ty. I love the message. I love the passion. And moving forward, do you see anything on the schedule, or can we see anything on the schedule as far as like that next type of event? I know they're just barely opening up with the
Right.
restrictions and things like that. Maybe it's too soon that I'm asking you this, but what do you see anything like in the near future where we all can sit down, man, and
Well,
just experience all that again?
we're hoping, like we've been very, you know, very considerate of what's going on, very mindful. So we haven't been in any rush, but at the same time, we've also are anxious to do something. So I think right now we're planning for an opening, grand opening on Earth Day for earthing. That's one thing,
Okay.
but it'll be mellow. It won't be like a blown out full on, you know. But that's one thing, and then after that, we've had the pleasure to work our location right now where it is on 4th and Cherry.
Okay.
There's a parking lot outside our shop. So we've taken that parking lot over like 3 years in a row.
Nice.
And, but it's beautiful because it's just a block party style.
Yeah.
Like we have a stage, we have like local artisans crafting coming together from our community, people from all over the community just coming out and hearing music and dancing and just having a good time. So that's actually what we're planning to do. And it's our anniversary for Native Soul. So it's coming up in September. And we're
Nice.
hoping if everything aligns, you know, that's what we're hoping for is to reopen that parking lot and have a beautiful gathering. Because I know people have been wanting and needing it. So I feel like, I know I do. I don't
Yeah.
know, you know.
Yeah,
So
no, no, yeah.
that's
Hey, guess what? September, yeah, HBTV, we there. We're gonna be right there with you, so
yeah, I
that's all
hope
good.
so. I hope so. I hope so. I'd love to see you there. See the family there too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So just a couple more questions, brother, before I don't want to take any more of your time. We're almost coming up
Right.
to that time of us being on the episode. Just a couple more questions. Just pretty much two more questions for you. One would be let's go through this one first. Like, what drives you? What is your passion? What is your inspiration to continue to do this? Because as you know, we all felt it, especially entrepreneurs like you, small business owners like you, mom and pops all over the world. 2020 was tough. It was tough. It was a great.
Yeah.
We lost a lot. We also gained a lot of stuff as well. So, and you guys had to pivot and pivot and pivot just to make things work. So, tell us a little bit about what that drive is and what that passion is for you. And we'd love to hear that. We'd love to hear that message right there.
Okay. I mean, I feel like it really comes down to it might sound corny,
No, no,
but it's
go ahead.
it's true. I'm speaking from the heart. Honestly, I love people. I love people, and I see that there's people are beautiful, and I feel like in the core, in their heart, I feel like most people want the same thing. We want to be loved. We want to have love. We want respect, and we want our friends and family to be safe and just have the essence of enjoyment. Just joy. And I feel like a lot of times, things happen in life and it skews that basic, kind of like drive or tendency. But I see it in too many people. When I see people, I feel like I'm connected to everybody. I don't feel separate. I never feel separate. I always feel connection, and it's source. It's divine. I feel that coming through everyone. So that drives me to want more for us all, like all of us to be our highest and best self and to live here together on that level, on that level. And I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but that's what drives me. I mean, I feel like we can always be better. We can always do more. We can always have more love and show more respect. And when we get to that point, you see glimpses of it. I see it. And I'm like, it's a beautiful thing. It's so beautiful. So that's what drives me. I love that. I love just being a part of that and trying to nurture that as much as I can. Even if it's a little drop in the bucket, I don't even care. Like, that's what wakes me up. That's what gets me excited. That's what keeps me going. And now the next level is like my children.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see it in them, and I'm like, wow, like I'm still here. I gotta do all I can so that they can live in a better place, even if it's a little bit. I don't even care. Even if I show them a little, inch of it. So those are the things that drive me, really. Yep.
Well, brother, man, damn. I'm just gonna say, man, I'm inspired just by you talking about what you just said right now, and I thank you for that. I'm humbled that I even had the opportunity to sit here virtually and just talk about your passion, what you do, your message, and I truly believe that you're doing a great thing out there in the community for us, everybody out there. And I'm looking forward. I'm really looking forward to shaking your hand, brother, giving you that hug when all this stuff comes down. But definitely very soon, and wish you nothing but love and
Thank
success
you.
out there in both locations. What you do, I can't wait to get to your new spot as well, and just check out the events, man. I'm hoping that this stuff will open up. Check out your events, check out your workshops. I'm gonna bring the family, bring the kids there, man, and I'm all about it, man. You're a good soul, brother, and I'm glad we got to connect. Thank you, Brian Ward, B Wizzle
Yeah.
34, for
Yeah.
for connecting us, and it's been a real pleasure. And again, I'm humbled for that you are and have been on the show, brother. And thank you very much. Before I let you go, any other message you would like to tell our guests, our audience, and the people that are going, the millions that are going to go see this video, this episode
Yeah.
after it's posted?
Right.
Any other message you want to give us?
Yes. Honestly, I would just say that voice inside, in yourself, just tune in and connect, and don't be afraid to be who you are. Just share your truth, as crazy as it seems, because somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to hear your truth, whatever that is. And it's so important. You are here. Like anyone listening to this, it's important that you're here on this planet at this time. But please just share your truth, even if it, at your discretion, of course. But don't be afraid of being who you are, even if you feel different, whatever it is. Just shine your light. That's all I have to say. I mean, that's the core of what I'd have to say, because I know I've learned so much, even from you right now, Harry. I mean, I love this dialogue. I thank you so much for being on this show. You know what I mean? You are, a good brother. I feel it. It's coming through our Zoom. You know what I mean? It is, for real. And I can't wait to meet you, in person. I look forward to it. And I
Me
really
too.
respect and I thank you for what you're doing.
Me too, Ty. Hey, you guys stay blessed. You guys stay safe out there. Have a great time. The rest of your evening with your family. Please tell your queen. Would love to chat with her at some point as well.
Yeah.
Love to the family, and again, thank you so much. Be safe. You have a great rest of your night and the rest of the week, Ty. Thank you very much.
All right, all right, brother. Blessings.
Blessings. Well, man, that was our guest tonight. Mr. Tyrone Ward. Again, going down the journey, going down the path of where he came from, what he's doing now, doing such great things. I'm going to have all his information in the video description. So if you guys want to check out any of his spots, follow him on both of his Instagram accounts. It will be posted up there. Again, Native Soul and earthing.earth. Gonna get that going, and again in September there's gonna be a great event for their anniversary as well for Native Soul. So we'll just keep in touch with that. Follow him, and again, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share, hit that little bell. It's gonna help out the channel a lot. Been doing such a this season's been great. Been having some great guests, and just want to keep this channel going the way it is. Again, broadcasting positive vibes, one episode at a time. So until next time, go ahead and you guys be safe out there, and you guys stay blessed.